Hello, hello, hello. It's me again with another video. Yes, you are lucky. You're getting another video in the span of less than 24 hours. But there's a reason because of that, and that is it is official. And with a tear in my eye, I am very, very sad to say that this man here, AJ Styles, is retiring. Now, he is 48. Let me fix this a bit. Get this down there. Okay, here we go. He is 48 years old. And it's crazy to think that he's 48 years old because he still, to me, looks and wrestles like he's in his late 30s still, right? I see no difference from his debut in 2016 at the Royal Rumble to now with his last match at the 2026 Royal Rumble. To me, he's still the same AJ Styles. And I think it's kind of weird, too, because, it's not like when guys retire like Hulk Hogan or Bret Hitman Hart or Shawn Michaels or, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, all these guys retire, The Undertaker even. But these guys, you saw them, at least for me, I saw them as kids. I grew up watching those wrestlers as kids and into my teenage years and then into my 20s. AJ Styles, the first time I ever saw him wrestle was in a sweet little company called TNA with the X Division. That's right, AJ was the man on the X Division. He even made the cover of the Volume 2 here for the X Division because AJ Styles was the X Division at one time. He really was. So you get that, and that's cool. That's cool because AJ, he was TNA. And because of TNA, they put out these. They put out, this is Volume 1 of AJ Styles. So that is pretty much his 2002 through 2004 run. So you get to see his X Division title win, his tag titles with, I think, is him and Jerry Lynn on there with the tag titles? It's possible. I don't know. No, they don't have his. They have a tag title match with AJ and D'Lo against Low Ki in Primetime, though. But yeah, they have the X Division where he won it, and they have his world title wins over Jeff Jarrett and Raven in that three-way in 2003, and then his world title win over Jeff Jarrett in the Steel Cage in 2004. So there's that, and then he came out with Volume 2, which. Again, Volume 2 is amazing. Volume 2 has, the Steel Cage with Abyss, the 6 sides of steel, AJ winning the belt off Jarrett for a third time, the AJ, Daniels, and Joe Unbreakable pay-per-view match. Then you got like a match from Impact, AJ versus Roderick Strong, AJ versus Petey Williams for the X Division title, America's Most Wanted versus AJ and Daniels for the World Tag titles. And AJ and Daniels against the Latin American Exchange, that version being Homicide and Hernandez. And AJ versus Chris Sabin makes the cut on there as well. So, that's pretty cool. Now, the thing is with TNA, let me move this back a bit. The thing is with TNA DVDs is that after a while you could only get them online, and there was a third one that came out years ago, which was like really in detail, a lot of stuff from, 2007, 8, 9, 10, and such. I never got it, so it's probably out there on the internet maybe to buy somewhere, but maybe one day I'll look for it. But I got those at least. And of course, AJ winning the TNA World Heavyweight title. That's the only magazine cover I have with AJ from his TNA era. I made sure to buy that like probably a year ago. I bought that. I saw it on eBay. And I'm like, I don't have an AJ Styles with representing TNA. So I thought I should snag that up, and I grabbed it, and I'm pleased that I did. Now, his WWE run, that was a little more special. They did come out with a DVD, and the reason why I say it was a little more special is because I think for a very, very long time we didn't think AJ Styles would ever be in the WWE. He went from TNA to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he was over there for a few years. And he wanted to come home and wrestle in the USA again full time. He was going to sign back with TNA and going into 2016. His last Ring of Honor show was Final Battle 2015. where he wrestled Jay Lethal for the Ring of Honor title, but was not victorious. Jay Lethal retained it that night. Then AJ, everyone thought, okay, he's TNA bound, which it looked like he was going to be. But at the last moment, the WWE snagged him, and he debuted at the 2016 Royal Rumble as the third entrant into the Rumble match. So this is pretty sweet. This has both WWE title wins, the one over Dean Ambrose and the other one over Jinder Mahal. It has 2 matches with Shinsuke Nakamura on it from his feud there. It has his matches with John Cena from SummerSlam and the Royal Rumble are both on there, if my memory is correct. Where's it at? Yep, SummerSlam and the Royal Rumble match are both on there. His 2 title matches with Roman Reigns earlier in 2016 are on there. His matches with Chris Jericho, tagging or wrestling him. And his Shane McMahon match, U.S. title thing with Kevin Owens and all that. The only thing that would have made that DVD a little better is if they would have waited a bit and had some Samoa Joe matches on there, because those two had a great feud in 2017. I think was it 2018? When was that? It's 2018. Yeah, the summer of 2018. So, yes, AJ Styles' WWE career was amazing. He did make the magazine cover in 2015 that I have for the PWI 500, where he was still in New Japan Pro Wrestling. But the WWE stuff is where really kind of the icing on the cake here. There is a 2016 Year in a Wrestling Award. AJ Styles was Wrestler of the Year in a landslide. 2017, AJ Styles on the cover with the WWE title, won Wrestler of the Year again, twice in a row. And this one here is Wrestler of the Decade. AJ Styles won that with a nice freshly dyed facial hair job there. Look at that. That's not natural color at all, clearly. It's way too dark. AJ won Wrestler of the Decade for the 2010s through 19 era. So, AJ Styles, man, that guy, he added in the new era of wrestling since the 2002 through now. AJ Styles has always been one of my favorite wrestlers. There was one time I actually had every AJ Styles Elite Mattel wrestling figure. I had them all, and I had all the belts. Like I had a mock first, and I had him on the wall, but I didn't like it because I thought I wanted to represent AJ with all the belts that he won, so I would open them up and put the proper titles on them that he had at that time and such. And then eventually I just got out of collecting wrestling figures. It just got too hard, too many exclusives and in the States and such. I didn't want to go hunting for them, and it cost me more money than it needed to. And I thought that's when I got into the magazines. I sold all my figures and just invested fully in wrestling magazines, which I'm honestly much more happier with. And but yeah, one time I had all the AJ ones, and I had a couple of the TNA AJ Styles wrestling figures too. So I did have TNA figures back in the day on display, and I sold them too to fund my Mattel collection. It's always one thing funding another, but I think now I'm pretty much set with the magazines. I don't see me ever selling off my wrestling magazine collection unless someone came along with a lot of money, and I would have been like, well, okay, but I don't think that's going to happen. So AJ Styles, honestly, was my favorite. He was the reason why I watched TNA, along with my good buddy Eric Young, who I grew up with, and of course because of that, I started becoming fans of guys like Bobby Roode, James Storm, the Motor City Machine Guns, Austin Aries, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe. There was just a really cool era of TNA wrestling from 2002 through 2012, I'll say. That 10 years there really defined what TNA was, and AJ Styles was probably the franchise player in defining what TNA was at that time. He could jump from the X Division to the world title picture, back to the X Division, get a partner and go for the world tag team titles, then go back to the X Division, go back to the world heavyweight title. He did it all, really. And I have a thing here. Some of the stuff he's won over the time. He's He's of course been an X Division champion numerous times. I don't even really know. I think it's 7 maybe. I want to say it's 7. I could be wrong, but it might be 7 times. But he held he did everything in TNA. He was a 2-time TNA world champion, a 3-time NWA world champion, so 5-time world champion in that company, holding the world tag titles numerous times. With the NWA tag titles with Abyss and Christopher Daniels and Jerry Lynn, and then the TNA tag titles with Kurt Angle and Tomko. And then the Legends title he held, or it was the TV title or the Global title. It changed names all the time. He held that a couple times. He was WWE champion twice. He was Intercontinental champion once, US champ 3 times, tag champs twice. He, now the Hall of Fame, going into the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame. Held titles in Ring of Honor, like the tag title, pure title. And of course, I had to write down his PWI awards. He didn't have many, but he did have some. PWI Tag Team 2006, Match of the Year in 2016 with John Cena at SummerSlam, Most Popular Wrestler of the Year in 2017 and 2018, Wrestler of the Year in 2016, 2017, and 2018. That's 3 years in a row. And of course, Wrestler of the Decade, like you see on that magazine right there. So it is weird to see AJ retiring now. The fact he retired thanks to Gunther absolutely is the drizzling shits. Gunther sucks. And if you like Gunther, I apologize. He's the drizzling shits. He absolutely sucks. I don't think there's anything remotely good about Gunther. Nothing. He's very boring. A very boring wrestler. And it's just everything about him is boring. And I get it. Maybe that's his gimmick or something. I don't know. But he's just boring. And I don't like him. I never have. I didn't care for Walter. I don't care for Gunther. Is just nothing to me. And I don't know why Triple H gets off on giving him long title reigns or now the world title reign. Now his gimmick is ending careers. Yes, Gunther's like 38 or 39 years old. He should be one ending legends' careers, right? Gunther is going to be on his way out in 5-6 years too, probably, or maybe even sooner if we're lucky. But no, it's just bad. I don't like it. And it's just, I don't know. I just feel like anyone could have did it better. I feel like seeing Gunther end Goldberg's career, and then Goldberg shouldn't have been in the ring there anyways last summer. That was ridiculous. Anyhow, he should have been doing at home, not wrestling. Funny thing is, I did hear AEW was interested in doing a Goldberg retirement thing like before, and Goldberg kind of I don't want to do it. He probably should have did it. I think Tony Khan would have treated Goldberg a little bit better with his retirement. For example, Sting. Sting's retirement was incredible. He ended his career as AEW World Tag Team Champion, and he went out on top as the victor. That was huge. You don't always have to lose on your way out. This isn't the territories. Jeff Jarrett even said that. He said that. He's like, we're not in territories anymore. You don't have to put someone over because you're going to another place. Just freaking give them their flowers. Give them their moment. Why can't they win on the way out? I don't know. I think that's a Triple H thing. I honestly think Vince McMahon would have had the Cena win and AJ win. I really do. Because I remember he had Trish Stratus win back in 2006 when she was retiring in her hometown. She beat Lita to become women's champion that night and then gave up the belt the next day, right? So, I just think that the era of putting talent over on your way out is kind of over with. It's kind of a past tense kind of thing. So now the big news is, of course, AJ Styles goes into the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame. He got the announcement last night on Raw at the end when he was doing his farewell speech to his fans, to his wife, to his kids and all that. It was kind of cool, very cool to see. And Undertaker comes out. And I guess the Undertaker now is the gatekeeper to the Hall of Fame, right? He went from being the dead man and the well-respected leader in the locker room to now he's the gatekeeper of the WWE Hall of Fame, because it seems like he's the one who comes down and tells you that you're going in. So if you're a wrestler or a past wrestler or something, and you're there and Undertaker comes out of nowhere, I think now you pretty much are safe to say, yeah, I'm probably going to be going in the WWE Hall of Fame, unless he's coming out to choke slam you because you did something extremely stupid in the ring or in the match or something. That is a possibility too, I suppose. But yes, AJ Styles going in this year. I don't think he's the headliner. I doubt it. I don't know. I've watched Stephanie McMahon be the headliner, unfortunately. Nothing against Stephanie, but I don't think she needs to be a headliner. Also, I'm just wondering, is it too soon to put AJ Styles in the Hall of Fame? I feel like they jumped the gun on this. I'm wondering if WWE is scared that AJ isn't done yet. Maybe he's done his WWE career. What if I thought he was going to go to TNA and end his career there? I really did. I thought he was going to go over there and have one last run in TNA and help that company out on AMC, because that's where he really got started at and had a household name in TNA wrestling, right? But I don't know. I just hope he doesn't go to AEW. Nothing against AEW. This isn't a bash on that, but like AJ, don't go there and have these random matches, because you just had, But I'm thinking maybe the WWE is scared of that. He says he would retire by the end of 2016, and the end isn't here. It's only February. The WWE Hall of Fame's in April, so that leads, May through December. I know there's a lot of dream matches out there fans want to see, like AJ Styles versus Will Ospreay, maybe even AJ Styles versus Kenny Omega, right? Or AJ Styles tagging with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and to do a New Japan Bullet Club reunion or something, right? We'll find out. We'll find out soon enough. All right, guys. AJ Styles is now retired. Officially, he's 48 years old. His wrestling career as of right now is over, but at least his WWE career for sure is, because I know he's not going to have another match in the WWE. Going in the Hall of Fame, what do you guys think of AJ Styles? Or are you a fan? Were you a fan from the beginning, or did you see him from his WWE era till now being the last 10 years? Like I said, I saw him from 2003 was the first time I saw AJ Styles wrestle. Me and my buddy Mike, we ordered a TNA pay-per-view, and I got to see AJ wrestle. Then the following week, we found out AJ Styles was going to be wrestling Jeff Jarrett and Raven in a three-way dance for the NWA World title. So we ended up buying that one too, and that was the show where AJ Styles became phenomenal and won his first NWA World Heavyweight Championship. So I was hooked right from then, and it's pretty cool that that AJ has had a great career and everything. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2026 WWE Hall of Famer, AJ Styles. All right, guys, until I do my next one, I'll talk to you later.